I have a special way that I masturbate. Oh God, there's no way to start this joke. It always starts like that. Anyone know what a fleshlight is? Do we know? Can we clap? Clap, round of applause. Check under your seats.
This week I'm joined by Nick Sahoyah.
Hi, thank you for having me, Aisha.
So what are you bringing to us, Nick?
I brought probably my favorite stand-up special of all time, Jesus is Magic, Sarah Silverman, her first big special. I think I watched it once a week, every week for like a year when it first came out. It was my favorite.
I always know when it's Hitler's birthday, because they announce it on Entertainment Tonight, you know. Right before they go to commercial, you see like a silhouette, and then they say, you know, this man is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews. Is it Ted Danson? Patrick Duffy? My niece is, my lesbian niece, their whole family is very Jewy, and she goes to Hebrew school and loves it. And she called me up and she's like, you know, Aunt Sarah, did you know that Hitler killed 60 million Jews? And I corrected her and I said, you know, I think he's responsible for killing 6 million Jews. And she said, oh yeah, 6 million, I knew that, but seriously, I mean, what's the difference? The difference is 60 million is unforgivable, young lady. But kids, you know, try to figure them out. You can't, they're kids.
I think what makes her shock comedy work where a lot of other shock comics fail is the joke isn't about the shock, it's about tricking the audience into thinking the joke is going to be about one thing and then just yanking them this direction all of a sudden.
You know what I don't understand are the
Right there. I love that. That's one of the little things. She sneaks it in there. She's in this bit about concentration camps and like basically one of the worst things that's ever happened in the 20th century. What's the one that war was in? We're in the 21st.
20th.
In the 20th. So like we'll fix it. We're gonna look really smart. She's talking about like arguably the greatest tragedy of the 20th century. And she's saying all these awful things, but her little wink and nod to remind you that she is in character and she is not saying things that she actually believes. She just sneaks in those little mannerisms. And it's not the only time she does that. She has a couple other parts. Some of them are involved with the skits. Some of them are just her breaking the fourth wall in other ways. But she sneaks in there that these little cues that like, I don't really mean this. And it takes the tension off the audience because it makes her look like a fool. Like she's too dumb to realize that the audience is totally gonna see her checking her pets.
Yeah, and when I think if you're getting a point across like that where you're gonna talk about something really depressing and you're doing comedy, it's good not to like drag the energy down for too long. So you know, injecting these little things right in the middle, that's great, that's brilliant.
Jewish people who drive German cars. And, you know, it's not a secret that companies like Mercedes and BMW and, you know, Hitler commissioned the Volkswagen. I mean, these are companies that built cars for the Nazi war effort, you know, and yet Jewish people who drive German cars, it's so gay. And,
She does it perfect that way. You're on her side and then she purposefully loses you. And it's like the thing where if you saw someone do that in real life, you instantly stop taking their argument seriously. Yeah. So she's making this like really salient point and then like, bam, okay, never mind.
It's just gay. And then on the other side of the thing, there's there's Mercedes, you know, companies like that who, boy, you know, if they could have only had the foresight, if they only could have seen into the future at the kind of business, you know, at the amount of money they'd be making from Jewish consumers, you know, maybe they'd help not kill the Jews, but, you know, instead, they helped, you know, facilitate a genocide of a people who would ultimately become their best customers, you know. Any Jew will tell you it's just bad business, you know?
I think it's really interesting how she does so much of the special with the mic on the stand.
Yeah.
Because what I always tell new comics when they're like getting up on stage and really nervous is like, take the microphone off the stand, put the stand over there, you don't need it. And I think it goes back to like what you were saying, like how conversational it all is, because she uses her hands so much.
Yeah.
And now I feel preachy, but I really believe this to be true. I believe that if black people were in Germany during World War II, that the Holocaust would have never happened. I do, you know, or not to Jews.
You can hear somebody going like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I think they all get the point she's making, but then she vocalizes it, and
Yeah.
she gets a huge laugh, and it's kind of weird, but it's like she knows that there's tension, and she's just gonna state what is strange, but it works.
It's another thing where the prejudice of the society is the joke, and she's relieving the tension by saying what everyone's thinking.
Yeah.
I got in trouble for saying the word chink on a talk show, a network talk show, and it was in the context of a joke, you know, obviously. That would be weird. That would be like a really bad career choice if it wasn't. But nevertheless, the president of an Asian American watchdog group out here in Los Angeles, his name is Guy Aoki, and he was up in arms about it, and he put my name in all the papers calling me a racist, and it hurt, you know? I mean, as a Jew, you know, as a member of the Jewish community, you know, I was really concerned, you know, that we were losing control of the media. And
If someone's doing jokes about everyone, like, hit yourself twice as hard as you hit everyone else. And she has probably as many Jewish jokes as, like, everyone else that she offends combined. And I think that's one of the other reasons it works.
midgets, you know, the politically correct word for midget is little person, which just tickles me because, you know, it's like the only politically correct word that's actually more insulting than the original word. Midgets don't like being called little people. You know, they much prefer, yes you are! I'm ba 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 ba! I'm ba boo boo boo!
You can totally imagine her, the stage version of her, like, going up to
Yeah.
and, like, the thought of her doing that to an actual little person is so horrifying that you can't help but laugh. It's perfect because there's really no joke there. She's just created a little scene with 30 seconds worth of words, and I think that's really cool how she paints a picture that way.
Yeah, definitely.
She really takes you there.
Thank you for laughing at that. I appreciate it. I appreciate the laugh. I always feel crappy when I do that joke, but it gets such a good laugh. I just feel like, what did midgets ever do, you know, as a people to deserve to be mocked? You know, they're human beings born extra crazy small. And, you know, I don't think like anybody here thinks we should make fun of midgets, you know, but we do anyway. You know, I think it's because, you know, I'll tell you why we make fun of midgets. We're not afraid of them. That's what it always boils down to, across the board, you know? I mean, I had a joke with the word nigger in it that I thought was so edgy, you know, and so hip. And I was doing it all over town, you know, at comedy clubs, and I was at this one club doing my show. And I look in the front row, and the whole front table is black people, and or African American people. And you know what? It was half and half. I'm pretty sure. And but the point is, I didn't do the joke, you know. And then you got to ask yourself, is that an edgy joke or is that a racist joke? You know, and I didn't do it because I was afraid of them, you know. I didn't. And I ended up changing that joke to chinks.
talking about this joke where she uses the N-word, and she's like, so I changed it to chink, so that's kind of a callback to a little earlier. But also, like, what joke do you kind of think about, like, what is this joke where you can just
Interchange anything. It's great how you can play with an audience by not giving them enough information.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that, like on TV, where I like that, where someone's like having a phone conversation and you don't hear the other end of the phone.
Right.
It's kind of like that because
Yeah.
you don't know what the joke is, so
Right.
you get to imagine it.
Yeah, and it just makes us so much more into it. Like, you know, is she gonna ever talk about
Yeah.
this joke? She doesn't.
Yeah, and it's fun to make something that's just like impossible to imagine, like you said, because your brain like wants to rectify this thing that you've just found humorous.
Yeah.
But when you can't, it makes it even sillier.
Yeah.
I think that's what's neat about it.
So you live and you learn and you hopefully you grow, you know? I was about to go on a talk show and talk about that whole kind of idea, how we make fun of people that we're not afraid of, you know, but we refrain from making fun of people that scare us, you know, and I was about to go on and the segment producer came over to me and he said, you know, instead of nigger, say the N-word. And I said, great, you know, what do you want me to say for chink? And he said, say chink. Why?
Have you read her Bedwetter book?
I bought it on Audible and then I
This is the start of no.
I bought it on Audible and then I forgot how Audible worked.
Do it like nothing. You know?
She doubles down on it. I'm sorry, like a hot guy was walking down the street and spit on the sidewalk.
Guy?
I like
This guy?
Oh, not that guy.
Oh, okay.
Not that guy with the weird raincoat. There was a gross gutter punk who like spit on the street. Oh. Yeah, I like gross people.
Not on that side, but on
No,
this
he's
side.
boring. Yeah, that guy's complicated. I could fix him. It's got like just like a I don't give a shit beard. Were we watching a show or something?